It's Pleasanton and Falls City Sacred Heart in the D2 Championship. And last night, Dan, Falls City Sacred Heart came oh so close to not making it here.
That's right. Let's set it up. Falls City Sacred Heart down by 1 seconds to play. They find Caleb Picorni, and that's a good guy to find. Buzzer sounds. Ball game over. Falls City Sacred Heart to the finals, 54-53 over St. Mary's, and they drew themselves a tough task tonight, though. Pleasanton, the #1 seed in this D2 bracket, promises to be a good one.
We'll be back with the player introductions and tip-off right after this.
Rising from acres of Midwestern farm fields, a revolution is coming. A new era of energy independence from foreign oil. It's called soy biodiesel. Made with soybean oil, this fuel is a sustainable, renewable resource. America, it's time for an oil change. Soy biodiesel, grown in the Midwest. Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. The U.S. Bancorp Foundation supports charitable, educational, and community service-oriented organizations in communities across Nebraska and the nation. U.S. Bank employees dedicate their time and efforts to local causes they are truly passionate about. U.S. Bank. Wherever you go, you'll find us.
A good cowboy can't go to bed at night if his cows are hungry. You spend all of your life taking care of animals.
These are the stories that made Nebraska the beef state. Coming this June on NET1 and NET HD.
Back at the Devaney Center, it's Pleasanton and Falls City Sacred Heart, the state D2 championship, our last game of the night. The big question in this one is, does Falls City Sacred Heart have an answer for Elijah Zwiener, the big 6'7" center? We will find out.
It's going to be difficult for him, that's for sure. Rare that you see a 6'7" player with all the skills at the D2 level, but that's what they're going to have to deal with here tonight when the #2 seed faces the #1. Finally, a bracket that played out the way it should.
Let's meet the Sacred Heart Irish and Pleasanton's Bulldogs. Here's Doc Weiniger.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Nebraska School Activities Association, its member schools, and U.S. Bank, welcome to the Bob Devaney Sports Center for the 2008 Class D2 State Championship game. Tonight's game features the Pleasanton Bulldogs versus the Irish of Falls City Sacred Heart. And now, let's meet the players and coaches competing in tonight's game. First, the non-starters for the visiting team, the Pleasanton Bulldogs. Number 11, Mitch Olson. Number 15, Alex Traster. Number 31, Trent Pritchard. Number 33, Matt Giffen. Number 35, Evan Schmidt. Number 43, Tate Shafto. And number 53, Zach Rasmussen. And now the non-starters for the home team, the Falls City Sacred Heart Irish. Number 13, Mason Niemeyer. Number 20, Jake Schaefer. Number 31, Clayton Vonderschmidt. Number 33, Ethan Freschel. Number 40, Dusty Metzner. Number 41, Derek Huppert. And number 42, Jacob Gruber. And now the starting lineup for the Pleasanton Bulldogs. A 5'10" senior, number 23, Trevor Pates. A 5'11" senior, number 25, Trey Shafto. A 6'3" senior, number 41, Kyle Giffen. A 5'9" senior, number 45, Jordan Axman. And a 6'7" senior, number 51, Elijah Zwiener. Head coach for the Bulldogs is Randy Bauer, assisted by Bill Giffen and J.J. Wagner. And now the starting lineup for the Sacred Heart Irish. A 5'11" senior, number 4, Drew Huppert. A 6'2" senior, number 25, Caleb Picorni. A 5'10" junior, number 32, Joe Santo. A 6'3" senior, number 43, Bryce Ebel. And a 6'4" senior, number 51, Aaron Meyer. Head coach for the Irish is Doug Goltz, assisted by Adam Santo and A.J. Landon. Tonight's game officials are Tim Higgins, Kurt Henricks, and Joe Wells. And now, gentlemen, let's play basketball.
And we are ready to go as we take a look at the locations for these two teams. Pleasanton, they've been here a few times before. Pleasanton's last appearance in this game just 3 years ago, 2001 champions. They were also here in 96 and 97 within the last 10 years. Falls City Sacred Heart, another team under longtime head coach Doug Goltz. Champions in 2001, 2004 most recently, and they have an all-time record of 7-2 in these championship games. As you take a look at the brackets, and as you mentioned, Dan, this is the one bracket that pretty much played out as expected.
Yeah, you saw a lot of number 1 seeds go down, 3 of which went down in the semifinals, but the number 1 seed in Pleasanton, the number 2 in Falls City Sacred Heart, are about to tip off in the D2 final.
Didn't give up winning for Lent. That's bad news for Pleasanton, I guess. Here we go. Bulldogs are in the black jerseys. Sacred Heart in their familiar white and green. For those of you out in central Nebraska, second week in a row that Pleasanton has entertained your evening. Last week in the girls' final, and tonight in the boys. Sacred Heart. This is Joe Santo. And Drew Huppert. In and out. Offensive board, put back, no, tipped around. Sacred Heart keeps it. Santo, nice little dish. Now an open three, it's Picorni, and they still have possession. A fourth opportunity. Now Aaron Meyer looking, and swish, Bryce Ebel.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say if they get 4 shots every time down the floor, they will win.
I think that's a given. You don't see that happen all that often. We said that Pleasanton might have the height advantage in this one with Elijah Zwiener, but he really didn't factor in that time as Sacred Heart kept working for possessions. Finally got the first 2 of the game. Here's a drive to the baseline and out of bounds. Trey Shafto. It was Shafto who made the game-winning or game-tying basket that forced overtime in the district final. It's going to be Pleasanton basketball. Shafto kept Pleasanton's season going, even though Pleasanton really had sealed up the wild card, but they fought through. They won their district and have now advanced here to the championship game. 2-0 in favor of Sacred Heart. Trevor Pates, entry pass for Giffen. Now back out, and we got a foul. It's going to be against Joe Santo. That's his first. Santo averages 8 points. Here is the call. He thought he got enough of the ball and forced a turnover. No such luck. Pates all the way in. Tough angle. The rebound to Zwiener. And now the size advantage kicks in a little bit. Elijah Zwiener averages a double-double of 15 and 10. He's been pretty much right on top of that during the state tournament. Did have a 22-point game yesterday against Hampton.
You can tell already they're trying to get him the ball a lot and see if he can go to work down low. Misses the short jumper.
Well, is that the story of our game? Get at least 3 tries every possession. Falls City Sacred Heart took 4. Pleasanton got 3. In and out. Not this time, though.
Zwiener cleaning up the glass on both ends. He's already got himself a couple rebounds.
Jordan Axman brought it in. Back the other way, Sacred Heart. Santo. Joe Santo with a driving layup. Puts Falls City Sacred Heart back on top. Giffen looks down low, but nice rejection. Aaron Meyer got his hands in front of it, knocked it away to a teammate, and we'll have a foul. Trey Shafto colliding with Drew Huppert.
Number 25, Trey Shafto, his first personal foul.
It's been
First team foul on
a long year for Drew Huppert. Diagnosed with lupus while in junior high school. And if you're not familiar, lupus is an autoimmune disease and really affects the immune system. Basically, it causes the immune system to make antibodies directed against itself. I'm trying to be a doctor here. But basically, it's your body working against you and can just cause all kinds of pain and damage all across the place. It's affected his kidneys, it's affected a lot, but he was hospitalized on Friday, missed a sub-district game, but he is here and playing tonight.
It's a great story. Courageous kid.
He'll take as much as 10 pills a day. Right now, Huppert not on the floor for Falls City Sacred Heart. And they're going to be keeping a close eye on him the whole way. In fact, I think they're checking a cut on his finger right now over on the bench. Inbound Zwiener. Not enough on the jump shot. And here comes Sacred Heart, 4-2. Irish with the early lead, 4:30 to go. This is the first quarter, Class D2 championship here from the Devaney Center. Ebel trapped in the corner, gets it away. They go outside. Santo for 3, yes! Quick 5 points for Joe Santo. And it's 7-2. All the way through, and he draws the foul. Jordan Axman. His sister was here last week in this game.
number 51, Aaron Meyer. His first personal, team number 3.
Game moving along quite quickly, already 4 minutes in. Pleasanton with just 2 points.
5'10" senior. Jordan Axman had 13 against St. Edward, the defending state champions, led by Shavante Samuels. But Pleasanton dispatched of them and then beat Hampton yesterday by 6 in the state finals. Denying for at least one day Jerry Eichhoff's attempt to become the all-time winningest coach in the state, which, by the way, he accomplished that today. We will talk more about that after the break. Falls City Sacred Heart and Pleasanton in the D2 championship.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job with Nebraska Public Power District takes me to new heights, offers me challenging experiences. Like me, the utility cares about Nebraska. I go home at night knowing that what I do makes a difference. To put it simply, I am where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
Get ready for the Osmonds! Celebrating 50 years of entertainment. Don't miss the Osmonds reunion concert.
Monday night at 7 Central Time on NET1.
And you take a look at Drew Huppert, who we told you about, was diagnosed with lupus, has been fighting through it, been taking as many as 10 pills a day. And how about this for Huppert? He plans to enroll at Southeast Community College here in Lincoln. He's going to be a lab tech. Why? He's used to getting stuck with needles. He has his blood checked twice a week. Figures, hey, why don't I become smart enough? I'll do that myself. 9-4 Falls City Sacred Heart here early on. Is it saved? Yes, nice play by Matt Giffen. And another chance here for Pleasanton. 3, good. Trey Shafko.
Zwiener spending a lot of time on the perimeter right now. You'd think he'd be underneath the basket more.
9-7, Falls City Sacred Heart leads by 2. Driving in, nice defense that time by Trey Shafto. Kept his positioning and basically kept McCorney from getting the right spot on the glass. Bad pass, and it was taken away. Vonderschmidt all the way down himself, and Shafto with a foul. And it will be free throws coming up for Clayton Vonderschmidt. It was his free throw miss yesterday that set up the dramatic finish that you talked about in the open, Dan.
Yeah, St. Mary's actually stepping out of bounds, giving Caleb McCorney a chance to hit that shot last night, or else we could be seeing a totally different matchup here in the D2 finals. A heartbreaker for St. Mary's and a thriller for SH rather.
Vonderschmidt makes the first. He had 9 points yesterday in the victory over St. Mary's. I ought to give a shout out though to St. Mary's, their first ever win in the state tournament coming on Thursday. And they came very close to being in this game tonight. 11-7 Falls City Sacred Heart. Zachary Rasmussen, another one of the taller players, and he throws it away.
Good hands over there by the scoring official at the timetable. Sign that guy up. I don't know if he has any eligibility left.
2:49 left here in this opening period. It's getting late, folks.
It's game number 6.
Yes, it is. D2 championship game. Head fake. Nice job. Caleb McCorney head faked the 3, got the defender to commit. Brought it in closer, sank the jump shot. Biggest lead of the game is 6, 3 on the way. That from Axman. 1 shot and out for Pleasanton. I don't know if that's necessarily the shot they want to take. Not really working it too much, at least early on. High pass for Vonderschmidt, and now Santo. Sacred Heart will be a little more deliberate here than Pleasanton was. Santo on the ball reversal. Had a nice wide open look. Now Pleasanton outlet. 2-on-2. Will he go in himself? Yes. Off the glass, no. Tip try. No. Rejected. Jump ball. Falls City Sacred Heart will keep it. Trevor Pates trying to make it in himself. You should take a look at Doug Goltz.
Just goes up with the basketball, and 3 defenders right around, gets a hand on the leather, and we're going the other way.
Well, as we told you before the break, Jerry Eichhoff with a chance to set a record today, and he did. He got the career victory.
Number 649.
He is now the all-time winningest coach in Nebraska basketball history, boys basketball history, so we congratulate him. But there are a lot of experienced coaches in Class D2, not to mention the guy on the Falls City Sacred Heart sideline, Doug Goltz. 447 victories.
He's still got a ways to go, though. About 200 more.
He's got some room to catch up, but still, he's on a good pace. Oh, wide open. And Mason Niemeyer banks it in.
That's a bunny. Can't leave him that open.
Breakdown defensively by Pleasanton, and now they're down by 8. Look for the entry. Turn around. Yes. Elijah Zwiener. He really has a nice touch.
Yeah, nice touch by the big man there. He's got 4 and 3 already.
However, sprinting right past him, Bryce Ebel lays it up and in, draws the foul. He just went right past Sweeter, caught him flat-footed.
Sometimes you see the lack of mobility from the big men right there. Lateral mobility a factor as he gets blown by, but chance for a three-point play right here.
And Pleasanton's going to take a timeout before we have the free throw. It's a 30-second timeout. 55 seconds left here in the first period. Falls City Sacred Heart off to a pretty good offensive start here. 17-point quarter.
And Hubbard about to check back in here, so we'll see if he can go a long stretch or if they just want to play him a few minutes at a time, see if he can become a factor in today's game.
Well, you saw the sign, never-ending tradition. We mentioned Falls City Sacred Heart, all-time record, 7-2 in championship games. All but 2 of those championship games have happened in the last 20 years. And all of their championships under Doug Goltz, the only championships won by the school, all under Doug Goltz, starting in 1988. 7 times they've been champions in 20 years, trying to make it 8. After the timeout, Ebel converts the three-point play, and now Falls City Sacred Heart has doubled up Pleasanton here, 18-9. Axman will bring it across the timeline. .35 seconds left to go in here in the first half. Just to be on the free throw line. Giffen has his shot roll in and out. And now, Falls City Sacred Heart looks like they're going to play for the last shot if they get a chance. Double dribble. Vanderschmidt also was trying to avoid the official as he was trying to come away with the basketball, and that may have hurt him somewhat. And Doug Goltz pleading his case right now to the other official across the way. So Pleasanton will get a chance at a last shot. Here's Sweeter. Too much on that. Rattled in and out. Sacred Heart all the way down, traveling. Bryce Ebel, too many steps. And the Bulldogs will have 4.6 seconds.
Look for Zwiener to set a screen, or not.
Yeah, he's well out of the play now from half court. Not even close. End of the first. Falls City Sacred Heart 18, Pleasanton 9.
Hi, I'm Matt Davison, and I drive Nebraska's highways almost every day. Please use caution when driving in winter weather, and watch for highway workers as they clear the roads. Slow down when you meet a snowplow, and don't brake suddenly if you're traveling in front of one. They can't stop as quickly as a car or pickup. If you're gonna head out in winter weather, check out the Nebraska Travel Information website at 511nebraska.org, or just dial them at 511. Don't take any chances this year. If there's ice and snow, take it slow.
Programming on NET television is provided in part by Education Quest Foundation. For over 20 years, Education Quest has provided free college planning resources to help students search colleges, search for scholarships, complete financial aid applications, and learn more about student loans. Education Quest is located in Kearney, Lincoln, and Omaha. Appointments available at 800-666-3721.
I'm not sure what the deal is, but they've been calling Dipping Dots the ice cream of the future for about the last 20 years.
Has the future caught up to us yet?
I don't know, but I know this. Kids love Dippin' Dots. And it doesn't matter what, it doesn't even matter. They don't even have to taste like anything. They just like eating things that look like small marbles. Foul on Aaron Meyer, and that will send Jordan Axman to the foul line. Pleasanton down 18-9 here early in the second quarter. You take a look at Randy Bauer, the head coach of Pleasanton. He too has had his share of success. Champions, as I mentioned, 3 years ago in 2005. And they have been runner-up 4 times since 1988.
Jump ball here. Irish take it with the possession arrow, leading by 9.
Despite the fact that these two teams have a pretty extensive recent tournament history, they have not faced each other in the tournament final. Falls City Sacred Heart was defeated by Pleasanton back in the 05 campaign in the semis, but Pleasanton has kind of moved up and down in class, so these two teams have generally not been in the same classification with each other during these recent state tournament runs.
And if I'm not mistaken, they did not see each other in the regular season.
3, no, long rebound, comes down to Caleb Picorni. Pleasanton's only loss came to Ravenna, Class C2 Ravenna, while Sacred Heart has lost twice, once to Lord Central Catholic and once to Bruning Davenport, as Drew Huppert comes back into the game and has his first points. At this point for Huppert, any effort he can give you is a bonus, not only for his teammates, but for himself. As Sweener comes back with 2 of his own, and it's back to a 9-point game again. Joe Santo. This is Derek Huppert. And that's going to be a shooting foul here. Off balance, and most of it because Caleb Picorni was run into by Jordan Axman. That is his second. So here's Picorni, the hero of yesterday. He's just put in his 5th point of the evening.
Somehow this thing's ballooned out to 10. Doesn't seem like a lopsided game.
The Sacred Heart's had a little bit more patience here in their offensive end than has Pleasanton. It's 22-11, 6:20 to go in the first half.
Programming is provided in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska.
Escalator or stairs? It may seem like an easy choice, but the hard truth is the illness and disease that result from inactivity cost about $76 billion a year to treat. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska, we believe that cost is much too high, and not just in terms of money. So when it comes to keeping you healthy and keeping healthcare affordable, walking works. Your health, your choice.
I've studied hundreds of species of birds, really, but just the thought of seeing the cranes in the spring, I can hardly wait.
Sunday afternoon at 5:30 Central Time on NET1.
And welcome back.
I'm noticing more signs in the stands for the boys tournament than the girls tournament. Signage is up 100%.
I agree. Perhaps they needed the extra week to be more creative. Or there was just a run on paper last week and the girls got gypped of their opportunity to have signs. Pleasanton will inbound here. 6:06 left, first half. Falls City Sacred Heart leads by 11. High lob for Zwiener. Almost flat-footed. Coming down with it, though, is Ebel. And now the Irish are back the other way. Ebel, this is Derek Huppert. Up, under, almost. Caleb Picorni just about had another 3-point play opportunity. Instead, he'll go to the line and have to earn them at the foul line. Here's the replay.
Goes up, absorbs the contact, almost gets the friendly roll, but does not.
Fouls on Matthew Giffen, that's his first. Team foul number 6 against Pleasanton. Just first. Like the shot that he almost made. Looked like it was headed in and came back out.
It's now 2 for 3 from the free throw line today. 6 points for Picorni, make it 7.
Biggest lead of the game now, it's 12 points, 23-11. This is Mitchell Olson into the front court for the Bulldogs. Stop, wait for everyone else to just breeze on by. I thought Matt Giffen made a mistake by stopping where he did, but the rest of the defense went on by. That opened him up for the 15-footer. It's a much-needed field goal there for Pleasanton.
Pleasanton seems to be struggling on the defensive side of the ball because Falls City Sacred Heart spreading it around.
Vonderschmidt from the free throw line, no, and the rebound to Pleasanton. Here come the Bulldogs. Olson wants to take it in himself and is fortunate to keep the ball in their possession.
6 guys with points so far for the Irish.
We're gonna have a 30-second timeout here taken by Doug Goltz and the Irish. And that is the second one they've used in this game. It comes with 5:01 to play here in the first half. Falls City Sacred Heart 23, Pleasanton at 13. Want to congratulate our champions that have been crowned today. It started with St. Cecilia this morning in Class C1. Archbishop Bergen, our champions in D1. Class B champion Beatrice. And then we began our night session tonight. And winning in Class C2 was the Knights of Elmwood Murdoch, followed by a three-peat for Omaha Central in Class A. And now it's Class D2.
If you missed that D1 game, Wes Eichmeyer, 43 points today. It was a sight to see.
High arcing three by Mitchell Olson. Short. And here come the Irish again. Yes, Eichmeyer setting a Class D1 tournament record, single game record with that 43-point effort. Scored more by himself than Beatrice did in winning the Class B championship. Tipped out. Here comes Axman. Layup good.
That's big. Struggling to score buckets. Those fast break points could get you on a roll. They're within 8.
23-15, halfway through the second quarter. 3 on the way. Too long. There's the rebound by Zwiener. Outlet again, Olson. This time he'll slow it up. And they'll try to set up to the big man. Good play, though, by Picorni. He was on the backside of Elijah Zwiener and was able to swat the ball out of bounds. Otherwise, if Zwiener catches, all he has to do is turn and he's got an easy bucket. Zwiener, the 6'7" senior, by far the biggest player on the floor for either team. He gets the inbound, and that's what you can do when you've got that kind of advantage. And just like that, it's a 6-point game.
Zwiener's got 8 points on 4 of 9 shooting.
Vonderschmidt into the front court, now Santo. Pleasanton still matching up man-to-man here. Ebel. Huppert looks down low, great pass.
Nice look.
Huppert to Vonderschmidt. And it's 25-17. 3 minutes left here in the first half. Axman, tough shot. No foul called. And here come the Irish. And Santo again is going to take his time here. Irish did the same thing on their last possession. Pleasanton's shifted down into his own defense. There's a driving layup. And Vonderschmidt breaks it down. So the last 2 possessions, Sacred Hearts played it a little patient and waited for their opening, and then have taken it. Turnaround, Zwiener. Needed that basket, and Zwiener's going to get the foul on the other end as Sacred Heart trying to take advantage. If there's one thing, and you mentioned it earlier, Zwiener not necessarily the fastest to get back down the floor, so Sacred Heart wants to push the tempo a little bit, force the big man to get a little bit winded, also take advantage of him not being down there to get in the way.
Yeah, it's certainly a strategy that they've used well right now, and it's basically whoever's leading the break is going to try to finish. One of the reasons why they have 6 guys in the box score right now with points.
Clayton Vonderschmidt is one of them. He's got 6. He'll get the second. That was the 17th foul on Pleasanton. Axman and Zwiener on the floor right now with 2 apiece. And there's the second. 2 minutes and 9 seconds left to go in the first half. Bulldogs trail by 10.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. Across Nebraska, the nation, and everywhere in between, U.S. Bank provides financial, trust, and investment services to individuals, large corporations, and small businesses. Wherever you go, whether it's in person, on the phone, or on the World Wide Web, you'll find U.S. Bank. You'll find more than 50,000 U.S. bankers, home of the 5-star service guarantee.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. The Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska. The Blues are good for you.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Class D2 final. Falls City Sacred Heart with the 10-point lead. If you're just joining us, Pleasanton in the dark jerseys with the basketball. They'll enter it in. Zwiener, kick out. Axman for 3. Yes! Jordan Axman with 7 first half points.
The Irish continue to stretch it to 10, but just can't push it over that.
And after the turnover, Pleasanton will come right back with a basketball. Doug Goltz, the head coach of the Irish, looking for an 8th state championship. This is Pates. 3 from Giffen is short. Rebound to the Irish. Minute and a half left first half. To the free throw line, jump shot. Had a wide open look, ball tipped around, and Pleasanton will come out of there with it. Rasmussen. Pates all the way in. Axman is thinking about another 3. Instead, enter it to the big guy. Elijah Zwiener with 12 points. And that 10-point deficit has been halved. With a minute to go in the first half. And a steal. Rasmussen takes it in. 7-0 run by the Bulldogs. 29-26 has brought the fans from Central Nebraska to their feet. Santo outside, drive, deflection, taken away. Pleasanton again. Giffen slows it up after he nearly lost it. And Axman thought about tying the game right there. Through the lane, blocked, he's fouled. Picorni will send Axman to the line. How about this? This run just happened that fast.
And Doug Goltz just beside himself over on the sidelines with the turnovers on back-to-back possessions, saying, guys, we had a 10-point lead under a minute to play, protect the basketball. But sometimes things don't go as you plan. Pleasanton within 3.
It's like a switch turned on all of a sudden for the Bulldogs. Great way to end the half. We can make this one. It's a 1-point game.
Zwiener goes to the bench to prevent him from picking up a cheap third foul in the final 15 seconds of the half.
It's an 8-0 run, a 9-0 run in the last 2 minutes of this first period, or first half. Still 14 seconds left. Maybe Falls City Sacred Heart can squelch some of that momentum. Pleasanton will bring pressure in the backcourt. They cross the timeline with 7. Santo in the front court with 5, trying to work off a pick. Santo with 1, gets an off-balance shot, and it drops!
Big time shot from Santo right there. They had pulled within 1 and looked like a different Pleasanton team out on the floor, but maybe that will put out the fire on the Bulldogs sidelines.
Still a little bit of a run here to end the half. And Falls City Sacred Heart, there it is, off balance. Swish, 32-28, our halftime score. Let's go down courtside, third member of our crew, Lance Schwartz. Lance?
The offense came alive there. You had to be pleased.
Very pleased. That first quarter, we didn't shoot very well. It was nice to be able to get the ball to fall at the end there. I just told the kids, keep their composure, relax, we'll be in it. So we tried to get close at halftime. We're there. We'll just have to play much better second half.
What are you going to tell your kids in the locker room here? What's the game plan?
Well, heart and desire. It's going to come down to that. You know, Falls Cities is a great team, and we just got to be ready to play ball. We got to take the ball to the hole and knock our free throws down.
Thanks a lot, Coach, and good luck in the second half. We are at halftime of the D2 State Championship. Falls City Sacred Heart leads Pleasanton 32-28. We're back with a look at the All-State teams right after this.
Live coverage of the 2008 State High School Basketball Championships is brought to you in part by Nebraska's independent colleges offer individualized attention and a close student-faculty relationship with a goal of educational success. The Nebraska Abstinence Education Program, working to prevent teenage pregnancy and the spread of sexually transmitted disease by promoting sexual abstinence until marriage. Nebraska Furniture Mart, with 450,000 square feet of furniture, flooring, appliances, and electronics all in one store. It's worth the trip. Concordia University, Nebraska, is a Christ-centered community ready to prepare students for a life of leadership and service.
You know, this TV is 10 years old, and the picture still looks great.
But if you watch TV using an antenna, you might need to make some changes.
That's right. In February 2009, America is improving the way it broadcasts television.
The new system looks great, but to watch it on your old TV, you're going to need to buy a converter box.
Fortunately, you can get a coupon to help you pay for the box.
And your favorite PBS shows will look better than ever.
Explore the imperial cities of Prague, Vienna, and Budapest with NET. Between September 22nd and October 2nd, we'll take in the sights, sounds, and tastes of these native lands for so many classical musicians and artists. To find out more, call 800-634-6788 or visit our website, netnebraska.org/imperialcities.
Hello, I'm André Rieu, inviting you to watch my brand new special, André Rieu in Wonderland, on this public television station. It features an enchanting evening of great music with my orchestra and some very special guests.
Thursday night at 7 Central Time on NET1.
At halftime of each championship game, we recognize the 10-11 Coaches All-State team. Ballot forms sent across the state. Coaches all across Nebraska voted. 10-11 tallied the votes. And your 2008 Class D2 All-State team is comprised of these 5 gentlemen. We told you about Shavonte Samuels, his story last year in this championship game. He led St. Edward to the title, of course, being rescued by his brother from the inner city of Chicago, brought all the way out to the central Nebraska, and has had a great senior year, averaging 27 points a game. Dwayne Hall of Hampton, who of course his team was in the state tournament. Elijah Zwiener, who we're seeing tonight. Seth Wynn of Lee, and Brett Kotzer of Ewing. Good-looking group of guys, and as you mentioned earlier, we had some scoring in this group.
27 points a game from Shavonte Samuels. You should have seen the shot he knocked down last night in that semifinal game. Just threw up a prayer and it went down. That kid can certainly ball, as well as all four of these young men. Seth went with 21 a game, and we've seen today what Elijah Zwiener is capable of.
Could we see Samuel's shot on 10-11's plays of the weekend?
That is certainly a possibility. We'll have a top 6 for fans to vote on Monday, so mark that on the calendar.
All right, we'll be back. Halftime stats coming up.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job as an engineer for the Nebraska Public Power District is rewarding. My education and technical skills are used every day to help generate electricity for Nebraska. And I feel good because I believe that what I do maintains the state's quality of life. NPPD is where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District. Always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
Programming is provided in part by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska.
These cost about $50. This costs about $57,000. Choosing to use these can help you avoid this. And since inactivity is a better predictor of death than smoking, high blood pressure, and even heart disease, using these more and this less could save you more than money. A message that's good to know from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska.
Programming on NET television is provided in part by Education Quest Foundation. For over 20 years, Education Quest has provided free college planning resources to help students search colleges, search for scholarships, complete financial aid applications, and learn more about student loans. Education Quest is located in Kearney, Lincoln, and Omaha. Appointments available at 800-666-3721.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. And by U.S. Bank, measuring success through performance, pride, products, and people, backed by a 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank, member FDIC.
Halftime in Class D2, Fall City Sacred Heart. Their lead was once 10. It got cut down to 1, but then the fadeaway 3 by Joe Santo right before the buzzer gives Fall City Sacred Heart a 4-point lead. As we take a look at the halftime statistics, as you look at the team totals, we'll tell you that Elijah Zwiener leads all scorers with 12 points for Pleasanton, 8 points apiece for the aforementioned Santo, and for Clayton Vonderschmidt. 32-28, Sacred Heart in the Class D2 championship.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. The Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska. The Blues are good for you.
I hope you're enjoying this high school championship game, which is being broadcast on NET television throughout the entire state of Nebraska. High school championships have become one of the hallmarks of NET sports. People throughout Nebraska continually tell us that they're inspired by our sports coverage. From the Panhandle to the Missouri River, viewers like you enjoy watching the excitement unfold. Whether your game is basketball, football, baseball, volleyball, swimming, or rodeo, NET Sports is your home for Nebraska athletics. We'd like to bring these games into your home for many years, and in order to accomplish our goal, we need your help. The NET Foundation has established a sports endowment fund to ensure perpetual support for NET sports programming. Call me or email me to learn more about how your legacy can live through an endowment gift to NET Television.
We are back at halftime of the D2 state championship game. We are with Sacred Heart head coach Doug Goldson. Coach, what are you going to have to do in this second half to win this game?
We just got to do a better job and be ready to answer their runs. They got a run there at the end of that second quarter. We didn't take care of the ball. We just got to be stronger with the ball, keep attacking. I thought we settled for some jump shots when we need to be aggressive, maybe take it to the basket more.
Thanks a lot, Coach, and good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
All right. We are at halftime of the D2 state championship game. Falls City Sacred Heart leads Pleasanton 32-28. We're back with the second half after this.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job with Nebraska Public Power District takes me to new heights, offers me challenging experiences. Like me, the utility cares about Nebraska. I go home at night knowing that what I do makes a difference. To put it simply, I am where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District. Always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
Rising from acres of Midwestern farm fields, a revolution is coming. A new era of energy independence from foreign oil. It's called soy biodiesel. Made with soybean oil, this fuel is a sustainable, renewable resource. America, it's time for an oil change. Soy biodiesel, grown in the Midwest.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. And by U.S. Bank, measuring success through performance, pride, products, and people, backed by a 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank, member FDIC.
Right in time for the start of the second half. Pleasanton down 4. We'll get the basketball first. John Bishop, Dan Hedman alongside for this final game of the night. And again, our wishes for a quick recovery to our friend Kevin Suits, who fell ill during the broadcast today. And we decided it was time to move out Wally Pipp and move in. Isn't that the analogy you used, Wally Pipp, for Lou Gehrig?
Well, I'm not calling myself Lou Gehrig in any way.
That's the analogy
saying,
you used.
But what people forget is Wally Pipp was an all-star first baseman for New York Yankees, and he decides to take a day off. Lou Gehrig steps in and, of course, becomes the Iron Man.
Well, trust me, in this case, there was no choice here. Kevin did not want to get sick. It's been a rough week as we've got timeout.
Falls City Sacred Heart with a player going to the locker room. It was Aaron Meyer.
Yep.
See if we can get any more information on that for you. Strange, just 22 seconds into the half here.
May have been cut. And, of course, anytime there's blood, they need to remove the player from the game. Try to get a report for you here later on. Just underway here in the second half. Huppert for 3. Drew Huppert. Young man who's been battling illness sinks the tray, and it's 35-28. Pleasanton fans screaming for a foul. Not going to get it their way. It'll have to go the other way. Pleasanton with the first foul here in the second half. They really did not like that look. Fans still giving the refs a hard time behind us. Now they've got an opening. Oh, there's Weiner with the swat.
5 fingers to the face right there on that basketball.
But then swinging an elbow and getting a piece of the eye of Derek Huppert. Here's the block. Boom. A no-doubter, and then watch right there, boom.
He's got a catcher's mitt too, so a big paw on the 6'7" Weiner.
35-28. Sacred Heart by 7. Stopped at the baseline. And a good play defensively by Trevor Pates. That gives Pleasanton the basketball back. With that 3 at the end of the first half by Santo. Really kind of changed the complexion of things a little bit there as Weiner takes it in for 2. That was a 1-point game. And all of a sudden, Falls City Sacred Heart back out to a 7-point lead. Now it's down to 5. Nice little up and under move. And with the left hand, changing hands, Caleb McCorney. Pleasanton, though, wants to run, and there's a block. Ball kicked out of bounds. That came off the foot of Sacred Heart's Derek Huppert. And Huppert coming off the floor here.
Here's the replay. Got a piece of it, but as you can see, diving to the floor. Kicks it out of bounds. It'll be ball to Pleasanton.
Weiner juggles with it. Just not quite enough on that shot. 37-30, Sacred Heart by 7. They've led by as much as 10.
You should say Meyer back in the game for Falls City Sacred Heart. Just blew by the scorer's table here.
Santo comes away with a loose change. Patiently waited for his shot, but it rolled over the top of the rim. 37-30. Bulldogs trying to draw closer. In and out. I was going to say Weiner is Axman. Yeah, tough going underneath. And this has been a frustrating start to the second half for the Bulldogs. Expecting calls that they are not getting.
Frustration foul right there by Trey Shafto. The putback no good down low, and then they try to go for the steal, and a little overzealous, called for the foul.
Coming into the front court, here's Joe Santo. Vanderschmidt and Santo play catch outside now. Picorni's got an open look for 3, and he uses almost every part of the rim before that 3 falls down.
Getting the roll and this thing back out to 10, and with the exception of the last minute of the first half, it's been all Falls City Sacred Heart in this game. Pleasanton's 9-0 run, the only thing really that kept them in it. Now it's back to 10.
Didn't take very long to get there either, less than half the quarter. Vanderschmidt trapped in the corner, got it away. And Sacred Heart again will work it around the outside. They'll try to enter it low. Good ball movement. Find the open man. Draw it up perfectly. Bryce Ebel with 7 points, and it's 42-30. Biggest lead of the game, and Randy Bauer wants a timeout. 4:21 left here in the third period, and Sacred Heart is jumped out to a 12-point advantage. They've really come out and hit their shots here in the second half. We're going to watch. This is how Sacred Heart has done it. Move it around. Ball never touches the floor. So if you're Pleasanton, you're going to have to find something again and get Elijah Weiner back in the game as you take a look at Matt Giffen, who's about to inbound the ball, and Kyle Giffen on the bench.
It's a 10-2 run right now for the Irish in the second half. So they've just stormed out of the locker room to take a 12-point lead.
Driving layup. Jordan Axman with a big bucket there. Pleasanton in dire need of a momentum changer here. They're down 10 after being as close as 1 in the final seconds of the first half. Under 4 minutes to go, third quarter. This is the Class D2 championship. Santo this time airballs the 3. He barely drew the bottom of the net. Now Sacred Heart's going to bring pressure here in the backcourt. Well, just man-to-man, they were showing it. Backed off as they come across the timeline. Giffen. Zwiener back to Giffen. Or Pates, I beg your pardon, Pates. Axman looking to go up and around. Picorni blocked it, but there is teammate to help him out, Zach Rasmussen. His 4th point of the game, and it's an 8-point Sacred Heart lead.
Full court press right now by the Irish, trying to get back in this one.
Broke the 10-second count with that pass into Picorni. Now Santo will set up the offense. Pleasanton showing a little zone underneath. They enter it in. Working, traveling. Bryce Ebel trying to get position around Elijah Zwiener. Shuffled his feet. 2:47 left to go, third quarter. Falls City, Sacred Heart 42, Pleasanton 34.
Hi, I'm Matt Davison, and I drive Nebraska's highways almost every day. Please use caution when driving in winter weather, and watch for highway workers as they clear the roads. Slow down when you meet a snowplow, and don't brake suddenly if you're traveling in front of one. They can't stop as quickly as a car or pickup. If you're gonna head out in winter weather, check out the Nebraska Travel Information website at 511nebraska.org, or just dial them at 511. Don't take any chances this year. If there's ice and snow, take it slow.
Funding is provided in part by the Dr. Thomas and Dorothy Hallstrom Fund, created to support broadcasting of the Nebraska State High School basketball tournament.
Back to action here at the Devaney Center. Pleasanton down by 8. They'll bring it into the front court. Jordan Axman. They're looking for Zwiener. He's got it. Catch and shoot. Fans wanted the over and back call, but Pleasanton keeps the basketball. And now they get the foul they've been looking for. Pleasanton fans really letting the officials have it. Picorni. That is his second. And the first team foul here in the second half for Falls City Sacred Heart. Ball was kicked, so Pleasanton will have to reassess.
Just receiving word that the C2 consolation game has come final. Ravenna winning 65-55 over Ponca. Ravenna is your third place team in the C2 conference.
Nice little head fake there. Almost turned into a pass. Rasmussen receiving it from Giffen, who airballed it, and a jump ball is called. It's still going to belong to Sacred Heart, but now Pleasanton starting a bit of a momentum switch here. They're crawling back into it again. They had a late run there in the end of the second quarter, and now they're trying to do another one here at the end of the third. And it's all come off of this, the press. Thought it should have been a travel. Turnaround three, no by Picorni. Loose ball, loose ball, loose ball. Who's going to get it? Oh, nice save into the hands of Vanderschmidt. What a play by Aaron Meyer. There was only one person he could get it to in a friendly uniform, and he found him, and now it's loose again. Here comes Santo. Santo, that was probably an ill-advised pass. Everyone flying to the ground. And the foul on Sacred Heart.
They're leaving it all on the floor right now in an 8-point game.
Frantic series of events there. Santo would probably have been best to keep it right here. Instead, he tried to hook a pass to a teammate, but he was too close to the Pleasanton defender. Foul on Santo is his second team foul against the Irish. 8-point game. Pleasanton down. This would be 2. No. Missed by Giffen.
They don't seem to be funneling the ball through Zwiener as much as they were in the end of the first half when they were having all that success.
Yeah, they've really not done that. Tried to hook a pass, and it's taken away by Rasmussen. So
the big man
turnover.
might be getting a little tired. Could have something to do with it.
He's played most of the game. I can't remember the last time he was off the floor.
He came out for the last 12 seconds of the first half, 12 or 13 seconds, but that's the only breather he's really gotten today besides halftime.
And we see Drew Huppert back into the game. We've told you about his story. Young man diagnosed with lupus, has been fighting illness, and has played sparingly. Foul's going to be called on Aaron Meyer. That's his third, and the third team foul against the Irish. There's Huppert again, 5'11" senior, has 5 points, had a 3 here early in this second half. They'll enter it in, and Rasmussen high off the glass.
Oh, we have an injury.
Someone is down right
like
after the
Picorni.
basket was made.
Looks like Picorni, and he is really in pain.
Right in front of the basket support. Not sure if he hit his head.
Looked like a left leg, maybe.
Well, the way he's reacting, it's hard to tell. I think he hit his head on the back, on the floor. It's hard to tell. We'll have to see. We'll see if we can get it. Well, we're getting word it could be his ankle. As the two teams will now huddle up at their respective benches. We're going to try to find a replay here where we might be able to see it. Came right off the make. Clock stopped here with 59 seconds as Caleb Picorni now sitting up.
He's in a great deal of pain being carried off the floor. No weight being put on that left foot, as we think it's a left ankle injury. Maybe came down awkwardly on that.
Let's take a look at what we've got on replay here. Watch after the basket.
32, Joe Santo for Caleb Picorni.
Well, he obviously landed wrong. I didn't really see how badly the ankle turned, but obviously it hurt him to the point where he's putting no weight on it whatsoever. That is a big loss. The senior who averages 13 points a game.
And is big down the stretch. He's the one that hit that shot that put him in this game. We showed you off the top of the show.
Well, you hate to speculate, but based on the way he was coming off the court, I would be surprised if Caleb Picorni makes it back into this game. We'll see how that plays into the decision in this one. 30 seconds left. Sacred Heart will be content to play for the final shot. Santo with 10 seconds left. Now draws the defender. 8. Santo still dribbling around. 5. Looking in the corner. 3 on the way. Is good! Bryce Ebel. And again, Sacred Heart hits a 3 at the end of the period, and they lead it by 9 as we go to the 4th.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. The Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska. The Blues are good for you.
Coming to your PBS station. Relive it all over again. My music, the 60s.
Ain't I got a feeder, honey? Set me free, why don't you, babe?
Tuesday night at 8:30 Central Time on NET1.
At the end of the second, it was Santo. Here, it's Bryce Ebel right before the buzzer. And Sacred Heart leads by 9. As we enter the fourth period, they try to enter it for Zwiener. Deflected away. Here come the Irish. Upward across the floor, Santo. Huppert may get a lot more playing time here in the fourth quarter if his body can handle it with the injury to Caleb Picorni. We'll see how this plays out here in the fourth quarter, but Huppert ended the third quarter after Picorni was taken off with that ankle injury and is in there to start the fourth period. Around the top, Santo. Sacred Heart burning clock on this possession. They take their time. Make Pleasanton come to them. Not a lot of fouls here in the second half, just 5 combined between these two teams. A little bit of indecision there for a moment. Ebel dribbles out of trouble. This possession is about a minute long. And there's a foul. But that's only the third on Pleasanton.
Interesting stat here, even though Pleasanton only with 38 points in the game, by the Falls City Sacred Heart standpoint, that's a lot. They only give up 38 points a game. I mean, they're up by 9 points right now, but their defense usually better than it is, so some work to do for Pleasanton, but compared to what Falls City Sacred Heart's used to giving up, Pleasanton's doing well.
They held a couple of teams to teens earlier this season. And Doug Goltz takes a timeout here. They'll burn a 30. That'll leave them with a couple remaining with 6:33 to go. Looks like the Irish, though, are going to go into kill the clock mode. It's 6:33 to play.
Not surprising, 6:33 to play, up by 9. When you had one of your better offensive players go off the floor, maybe buy some time for him to get back, just make this as short a game as possible, and I'm sure that's what they're talking about in the Pleasanton huddle is, you know, let's pressure him, let's make him do something with the basketball, or the clock's going to beat us.
We have still not seen Caleb Picorni emerge from the locker room area after he went off at the end of the third period with what appeared to be a nasty ankle injury of some kind, not sure to what nature. There's a basket and a foul, and Bryce Ebel, who ended the third with a 3, will try to start the fourth with a 3-point play.
That could be a backbreaker right there. You see the shoulders shrugging on the Pleasanton defense. They don't know what to do. They're trying everything they can. Here comes Picorni limping back onto the floor. He's putting weight on it, but he'll sit at the end of the bench.
Well, that is a good sign, actually putting weight on it when he was putting 0 weight on it when he left the floor. To the baseline. Runner was blocked. Foul. Santo will be called with it. That'll be his third. You take a look there, and they're going to ice him up there right on the bench. Still don't think he's going to be able to come back in this game. And at this point, you are up 12. Unless they're absolutely desperate, but at this point, I think his day is done.
No reason to risk it. They'll elevate it and put ice on it, keep the swelling down.
First foul shot missed by Trevor Pates. Trey Shafto back in for the Bulldogs. And Aaron Meyer in for Sacred Heart.
Shafto with 4 fouls, so Pleasanton must be feeling that this one's at its breaking point right now. Going to Shafto with 6 minutes to go.
Shafto averages 8 points a game. Makes the second. Timeout on the floor, 6:14 to play.
Programming provided by Nebraska Public Power District.
My job as an engineer for the Nebraska Public Power District is rewarding. My education and technical skills are used every day to help generate electricity for Nebraskans. And I feel good because I believe that what I do maintains the state's quality of life. NPPD, it's where I want to be.
Nebraska Public Power District. Always there when you need us. Together with your local public power utility.
Rising from acres of Midwestern farm fields, a revolution is coming. A new era of energy independence from foreign oil. It's called soy biodiesel. Made with soybean oil, this fuel is a sustainable, renewable resource. America, it's time for an oil change. Soy biodiesel, grown in the Midwest.
Well, the luck of the Irish. Turn that leprechaun back up. Isn't it unlucky to hold a leprechaun upside down?
Doesn't seem to matter right now.
I guess not. I guess we'll find out over the next 6:12 if it's unlucky to hold a leprechaun upside down. Don't want a little gold to spill out. Irish right now have the luck on their side, 11-point lead. And a foul away from action, away from ball. It's going to be on Axman. And that's his fourth. So you got Shafto and Axman both on the floor with 4 fouls. And you mentioned it earlier, it might be getting close to desperation time here, even though it's 11 points is not hard to overcome, but the way Sacred Heart's been possessing the ball and taking care of it.
And that might have been a planned foul. 5 team fouls right now, still a couple to give until they can send them to the free throw line. They might be trying to get that out of the way up front here.
And Sacred Heart is perfectly content not to force anything here at this point. Again, using the advantage of no shot clock in high school basketball. Again, a foul away from the ball. That one's going to be on Sweener. That'll be his third, as he knocked Clayton Vonderschmidt to the ground.
What are your feelings on the shot clock rule in high school? I mean, it would be difficult to put a shot clock in each high school, but...
Well, and that's the big reason against it, is just the expense. Because you would have to equip every single gym with a shot clock, and we hear about how school budgets can be tight. That's just another expense that everyone has to come up with. I don't mind the idea, but again, do you want to necessarily go through all the expense of having to do it?
To me, it makes it a 3.5-quarter game a lot of the times. And I mean, even in the women's college basketball game, no 10-second rule, so you can hold the ball in the backcourt for almost all 35.
Oh, Drew Huppert with the driving layup. Huppert with 7 points. What a way it would be for him to go out, a chance to play this fourth quarter out with all of the things that have happened to him. Taking up the slack for an injured teammate. His team's been taking up the slack for his illness all season long, and chance for him to give back here. He's got 7, Sacred Heart by 13 with possession. This is Huppert with it in front of the bench. And again, Sacred Heart taking it easy here. Pleasanton's just going to have to start fouling at some point because it's not going to happen. Oh, slipped away. There's the steal they were looking for. Drive in, too strong. And a foul. Trevor Pates looked like he was heading in for a layup. Let's take a look at it again. This is after the miss now. And then the reach-in called there. Foul is on Matt Giffen, his second, 17th foul on the Bulldogs. And we're going to have free throws the rest of the game. And it'll be Clayton Vonderschmidt with 10 points
Falls City Sacred Heart, 9 of 10 from the free throw line today. Now 10 of 11.
Well, that's how you get it done. And we saw in their last game in Class A, Bellevue East went just 6 of 19, which really has to bug you when you lose by 1 point to miss that many free throws. 53-39. Turnaround, no. There's the rebound, and Elijah Zwiener has been quiet here in the fourth quarter. There's his 14th point. Needed to hear a lot more from him here in the second half, and it just has not materialized. 10-second count was on, and it expired. The pass was coming across, but was not possessed, so 10-second count, and Pleasanton with a chance maybe crawl back into this one.
If something's going to get you going.
That's going to be a play made by your defense, and off the rebound, a foul. It'll be on Huppert. That'll be his first. Only the 4th team foul, though, against the Irish, and it will be an inbound situation. Still down by 12 with 3:46 to go. From the corner, 3, no.
They go away from the press here.
Interesting decision there, considering that's where most of their good offenses come from, and where their runs have come from is coming off of that press. Now Sacred Heart again, very content to burn clock, but Rasmussen with the steal. Behind the back dribble, all the way down and good. Nice play by Zach Rasmussen. The big guy showing some ball handling skills there.
Yeah, he had Trevor Pates up on the wing. I thought he was going to pass it ahead. Took it himself.
Bodies crashing to the floor. Pleasanton fans again howling for the official to blow his whistle. And they still don't get a call in their estimation. Down by 10. Again, Sacred Heart just content to dribble around. And there's a foul. And I think that's the 5th foul on Axman.
It is. He is done.
Wow. 2:42 left to go. Jordan Axman has fouled out. And that will send Joe Santo to the free throw line. There's one. And a timeout taken by Pleasanton. We'll go to break. 2:42 left to play. Falls City Sacred Heart by 11.
Hi, I'm Matt Davison, and I drive Nebraska's highways almost every day. Please use caution when driving in winter weather, and watch for highway workers as they clear the roads. Slow down when you meet a snowplow, and don't brake suddenly if you're traveling in front of one. They can't stop as quickly as a car or pickup. If you're gonna head out in winter weather, check out the Nebraska Travel Information website at 511nebraska.org, or just dial them at 511. Don't take any chances this year. If there's ice and snow, take it slow.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank, fulfilling their commitment to serve customers wherever they are on their terms, providing a full range of banking services at 57 branch offices and more than 100 ATMs located conveniently across Nebraska. Wherever you go, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, you'll find us.
Back at the Devaney Center from the Pleasanton student perspective. One more free throw upcoming here for Joe Santo. He's got it. Now up to 10 points for Santo, and it's a 12-point lead. Driving in, Pates, short. Loose on the floor. Recovered by Shafto. Off balance 3. Rolls out. And an over the back call. I think that one's going to go on Bryce Ebel. That would be his second, 6th team foul against Sacred Heart.
It's getting to that point in the game where the clock, a bigger factor than the score. 2:28. The Irish just running it down. That's the biggest obstacle for the Bulldogs now, scoring quickly.
See Kyle Giffen coming in. Also Drew Huppert back in for Sacred Heart. 3 from the corner. Had it open for a long time. They were willing to give it to him. And after all the scrap, Sacred Heart comes away with it. Foul on Zwiener. That is his 4th. Time and bodies may soon be running out for Pleasanton here. That's already Axman on the bench with 5 fouls. Shafto and Zwiener now each with 4. So it's Bryce Ebel to the free throw line.
One more foul will put them in the double bonus. 19 fouls for Pleasanton.
Ebel, one of 3 players in double figures tonight for the Irish, and he leads Sacred Heart scoring with 13. He'll get one more. Take a look at Doug Goltz. Win number 448 tonight would mean a state championship, his 8th. Now the biggest lead of the game, 14 points. Driving in, layup. Too much on it. And it's Sacred Heart basketball. Well, Pleasanton was within 1 with seconds remaining in the first half. And I still go back to that off-balance 3 made by Joe Santo just before the buzzer that took a little bit of the steam out of Pleasanton's run there at the end of the half, gave Sacred Heart a 4-point lead, and then they came out early in the 3rd and quickly got it out to a 7-point lead, and since then it has really not gotten any closer. In and out.
And I think even more so than stipending the Pleasanton run, it just made Falls City Sacred Heart feel a little bit better about going into halftime with a 4-point lead instead of a 1-point lead after being up by 10.
You saw on the bench there Caleb Picorni, who has not played the entire 4th quarter, was injured late in the 3rd, but it has not affected them. Aaron Meyer falls to the deck. That'll mean free throws now for Pleasanton. It's on Ebel. And at the free throw line, here's Trey Shafto. Randy Bauer was hoping he could get Pleasanton back into the championship. He got him back into this game, was hoping to repeat the success of 2005 when he helped beat Dodge, Falls City Sacred Heart in the semis, and St. Francis in the finals, but it would appear that it's going to come up short here tonight unless something completely unexpected happens. Sacred Heart's going to use a timeout here as the 10-second count was on. Pleasanton again using the press to keep it tight. 1:52 left to play as you take a look at that Pleasanton huddle. Just 1 loss this year for the Bulldogs. It came very early in the season to Ravenna, and since then they have rolled on a couple of overtime wins, including the one over Hitchcock County in the districts, and then eliminating last year's champion St. Edward, eliminating Hampton yesterday. But it looks like the ship has run out of steam here in the middle of the ocean.
It's going to be a tough feeling for all those kids, too, after putting together such a great season. Find yourself down 13 with less than 2 to play.
Sacred Heart, meanwhile, just 2 losses this year, 1 to Lourdes Central Catholic. That was their last loss, came just before the postseason. And earlier this year, they lost to Bruning Davenport. Otherwise, it's been a perfect slate. Inbound, deflected, taken away, Zwiener! Nice play by Elijah Zwiener. Made it all happen himself, both on defense and on offense. Bulldogs not quite ready for us to finalize this game.
If they can just do that 6 more times, they'll take a 1-point lead.
Well, it's going to require some missed free throws here first, though, from Bryce Ebel. 15 points for Ebel. There's his first. Doug Goltz yelling out instructions. Good line tonight for Ebel. Short on the second. 59-47. Minute 40 to go. Pleasanton needs an open look at 3. That was just put off balance. Track down. Open up. 3. No.
They're rushing a little bit now.
Yeah, they are. Really not setting up for much of a shot. Almost something you see in the final 10 seconds. Not with a minute and a half left on the clock. I think they would work a little bit more for try to get some screens or something, but really just a couple of desperation threes there. So Drew Huppert. Boy, what a ordeal he has gone through. You just look at him and he just, you know, you can see how much it's worn on him.
Yeah, he's winded in between plays, but he's gutting it out, especially with Caleb McCorney on the bench. He's put in some key minutes here, really made a difference in the second half.
He's played most of this quarter. 3, up, good.
That time they got a good look, they didn't force it.
Still down 11 though. And there's the foul. With a minute 11 to go, that'll send Joe Santo to the line. He's got 11 points. Second foul on Trevor Pates. Double bonus the rest of the way. Randy Bauer hoping for a miracle, but going to need a little bit of help here from Sacred Heart to miss some foul shots. Santo, the 5'10 junior, 8-point average. Tonight with 12. Make it 13. 63-50. Mitchell Olsen. Sacred Heart guarding the 3. Last touch by Santo. It goes out of bounds off Sacred Heart. A minute 1 to go.
61 seconds to a state title for Falls City Sacred Heart. Nursing a 13-point lead. Angst on the faces of those Pleasanton fans. Anxiousness for Falls City fans.
From the corner. High arcing 3, no. Offensive rebound, nope. Waved off. Waved off. It was on the floor. They'll call it on Aaron Meyer. And that'll put Zwiener to the line. They were hoping that Zwiener would get the basket and the foul, but foul was called on the floor. Elijah Zwiener had a pretty good state tournament. 18 points tonight, 22 last night, 16 the night before. Just made his 19th point.
It's his first free throw, though.
They really haven't entered the ball to him as much as we thought they would, especially in the third quarter when Sacred Heart was starting to get away.
He had 19 shots on the day, and those were the first 2 free throws with less than a minute to go.
You would expect that someone with that size advantage, as Trey Shafto has just fouled out of his last game, he'll end his night with 5 points. But that's an interesting point you bring up. You would think that someone who's got that kind of size advantage you'd be trying to get the ball down to him and hoping for mismatches, and thus maybe some free throw opportunities. Not tonight. "50 seconds with a 12-point lead. Pretty safe territory. Olsen. Sacred Heart coming way out on the perimeter, not letting him get anything wide open from three. And Rasmussen will go to the free throw line. Just past 11 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. Before we leave you tonight, I want to say thanks to everybody on the crew tonight who have put in yeoman's work for the last 2 weekends. Both our 10-11 sports production crew who have worked hard on preparing and getting everything ready to go for tonight. And also our friends at NET, as off the miss, Elijah Sweener lays it up and in. Our first ever telecast in high definition. Hope those of you with those high definition sets have enjoyed it. But a great job by everybody on the crew to bring you the sights and sounds of both last weekend's girls tournament and this weekend's boys tournament.
Doesn't get on the air without the people behind the scenes, and thanks to them for letting us cut in line at the buffet as well during the break today. That was appreciated.
Well, I noticed a lot of them had already gotten up there by the time we did, but that's okay. Kyle Giffen comes off the floor, probably for the last time for the senior. Second free throw is good. And before we start play, Mason Niemeyer will come in for Sacred Heart. 12-point game, 33.9 seconds left. And Pleasanton will take a timeout. This will probably allow everyone to substitute accordingly, and we will call it a night. Stay tuned right after the final whistle. The final buzzer sounds. We'll have the medal presentations and the interviews with the runner-up coach and the state champions from Falls City Sacred Heart. What a run they have had under Doug Goltz. Champions in 88, 89, 90, 91. Then they took a few years off, came back in 99, won again in 2001 and in 2004. And here they are in 2008. 8 titles in 20 years. I would dare say that's pretty close to a dynasty.
That's tough to beat. 8 in 20 years. Shooting what, 43%, something around there?
Yep. As you look at Doug Goltz, who will have career win number 448.
Mass substitutions coming for the Irish.
Evan Schmidt into the game for Pleasanton. And now they'll bring everyone in. Still plenty enough energy to jump around the court. The celebration has already begun from the corner. 3 missed. Rebound Irish. 20 seconds left. This is Dustin Metzner. Schaefer. Shot blocked by Tate Shafto. 8 seconds left. And that will do it. Falls City Sacred Heart 66. Pleasanton 54. The Irish are again state champions. We'll be back. Medal presentations in the D2 championship right after this.
A good cowboy can't go to bed at night if his cows are hungry. You spend all of your life taking care of animals.
These are the stories that made Nebraska the beef state. Coming this June on NET1 and NET HD.
Sacred Heart 66, Pleasanton 54. They have won their 8th state championship since 1988. And as they cut down the nets, let's go across the way. And Doc Weiniger has our medal presentations.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are pleased to present the Sportsmanship Award for Class C2. We want to thank all schools, students, fans, players, and coaches for their ongoing efforts to improve sportsmanship at the state tournament and throughout the year. We also thank Awards Unlimited and the Nebraska Independent College Foundation for sponsoring these awards. Making the presentation and representing the Nebraska Athletic Directors Association is Bill Fitzgerald of Fremont High School. Representing the Nebraska Coaches Association is Ron Kubik of Donovan-Trumbull High School. Presenting the award and representing the Nebraska Independent College Foundation is Thomas Tip O'Neill from the Association of Independent Colleges and Universities of Nebraska. This year's Class C2 Sportsmanship Award is presented to Ponca High School. Receiving the award is Superintendent Bill Thompson. Congratulations, Ponca High School. And now, presenting the award in Class D2 and representing the Nebraska Independent College Foundation is Thomas Tip O'Neill. This year's D2 Sportsmanship Award is presented to O'Neill St. Mary's High School. Receiving the award is Principal Norm Hale and the cheerleaders and senior players. Congratulations, St. Mary's. And now, the Nebraska School Activities Association is pleased to present medals and trophies to both of these outstanding teams. The awards will be presented by NSAA Board of Control member Max Kroger of Ord and U.S. Bank Representative Megan Pitkin. First, here are the awards for the 2008 Class D2 runner-up from Pleasanton High School. Will head coach Randy Bauer and your assistant step toward the middle of the court to present the silver medals to each member of your team. Players, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal. Number 11, Mitch Olson. Number 15, Alex Traster. Number 31, Trent Pritchard. Number 33, Matt Giffen. Number 35, Evan Schmidt. Number 43, Tate Shefto. Number 53, Zach Rasmussen. Number 23, Trevor Pates. Number 25, Trey Shefto. Number 41, Kyle Giffen. Number 45, Jordan Axman. Number 51, Elijah Zwiener. And now, all of you are welcome to receive the runner-up trophy for your school. Congratulations, Pleasanton High School, 2008 Class D2 State Runner-Up. And now to the champions from Falls City Sacred Heart High School. First, head coach Doug Goltz, we have a special coaches award for you. And now, coach, hand out the gold medals to your championship team members. Players, as your name is called, please come forward to receive your medal. Number 13, Mason Niemeyer. Number 20, Jake Schaefer. Number 31, Clayton Von.
The NSAA State High School Basketball Championships are underwritten in part by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services. And by U.S. Bank, measuring success through performance, pride, products, and people, backed by a 5-star service guarantee. U.S. Bank, member FDIC.
For the touchdown. Schindler 6.
If you're a fan of NET Sports, I invite you to join our Sports Partners Club. As a club member, you can receive a member certificate, a duffel bag, a signed Matt Davison poster, and other club extras. But more than that, you'll be supporting the team that delivers Nebraska sports action to your home. Log on to netnebraska.org/sportspartners or call 1-800-634-6788 and join today.
Carrier.
Coming in April to NET1.
Welcome back to the Devaney Center. One final time. Interviews coming up in just a moment as we look at the final numbers in this one. Falls City Sacred Heart 66, Pleasanton 54. Huge difference in field goal shooting. Nearly half the field goals attempted by Falls City Sacred Heart, though they almost made the exact same amount, 50% from the field for Sacred Heart. We told you that 5 players were in double figures. They were led by Bryce Ebel with 16 points. Joe Santo had 14. In the state runner-up effort, Elijah Zwiener led all scorers with 22 points. Before we head backstage, should mention state tournament attendance this year, 104,718. That is the first time in at least 10 years, to my recollection, that we have cleared over 100,000 here at the state tournament. So thanks to all the fans for coming out this year and making it another special event. Now, one final interview with champions, and this time it's Falls City Sacred Heart. Dan?
And with the championship head coach, Doug Goltz. And Coach, how's it feel to raise the trophy at the end of the day?
Just an awesome feeling. We had a great weekend. Our kids just played so well together, and they did everything we asked. They just played hard and played smart. It's a good group of guys. They really play well together.
Over the last 20 years, 8 state titles. What does that mean to you?
It just means that we're able to get kids to work together, to be unselfish, to play for each other. I think we had 5 guys in double figures. I think that's just a way of showing that. They just stepped up when Caleb went out. The guys didn't panic. They rallied. It was just a good weekend, and we just said we wanted to be the best team this weekend. We didn't have to be the best all season, and it proved that we were. Our guys did everything we asked them.
Yeah, what can you say about the effort of your guys? Losing a guy like Caleb who hit a game-winning shot to get you here and overcoming that to hang on to the win.
Well, I just think we played a good schedule. We played well all year. We didn't have too many bad nights, I didn't think. So I think our kids were prepared for whatever they saw, whether it be that first round last night in that kind of miracle finish that we had, and then again tonight against Pleasanton that really created some matchup problems for us with their size, with their shooters. But our kids followed the plan well. They shot well. They did the little things that you have to do to win.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations. We'll bring in your players now who are excited to be on camera. So here we go. We start with Aaron Meyer, 5 rebounds tonight, big man. You're holding the trophy. Total team effort tonight. Just talk a little bit about what it took to get it done.
We just came out from the very beginning and played like this was ours already. I mean, it's just awesome.
Coach talked about not needing to be the best team throughout the year. You came in as the 2 seed, left as the 1.
Yeah, we just needed to be the best team these past 3 days. It looks like we are. We are.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Congratulations. It's Drew Huppert now, and 11 points for you. Congratulations. And we know you've been struggling through some things. How important was this to you to just come out and play, let alone win?
Oh, this is awesome. I'd never pictured myself here, but the team pulled together, and here we are.
How much has the last couple of weeks taken a toll on you, the last couple of years taken a toll on you?
I mean, great teammates. Didn't take much on me because they were always there to back me up.
And what's it like now to share in this moment with them?
It's awesome. They deserve it.
All right, congratulations. We'll hand the trophy off now to Joe Santo. 14 points, 4 rebounds, and a huge three-pointer at the end of the first half. Walk me through that.
Well, we just needed a shot. Nobody else wanted to take it, so I was like, I'll take it, and it just happened to go in. I don't know.
Stepping up and hitting the shot, and 14 points, leading the team in that asset as well. What's this trophy mean to you guys?
Well, we worked hard all season. We all wanted to let the seniors go out on a victory, and we did it.
All right, congratulations. You were able to get it done.
Thanks.
We got 6 players from Falls City Sacred Heart. Next up, take number 43 is a senior, Bryce Ebel, 16 points, 7 rebounds, and about, 4 inches taller than me right now, still room to grow. Senior year, you go out as a winner. What's it like?
Dream come true, nothing else like it. This is what we've been playing for since we were little kids. I think that's everybody's story who wins it, but it's really true.
How much did the seniors take hold of this team and buy into the fact that, you don't have to be the best team all year, you just have to win the weekend?
We just, coming off last year's loss in district final, we just knew we had to step it up this year, and that's exactly what we did.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll bring in now Caleb Percorny, who had a gutsy effort today because he left with an injury. He's limping in right now, but are you feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling great. Winning a state championship is going to heal everything right now.
Now, you made the big shot yesterday to make today possible. What's that like? I mean, making that shot to send the team here, and now everybody's looking at you. I'm interviewing you right now.
Well, I made that shot yesterday, and today I had to go out early with an injury, and they stepped up for me today.
What's it like being part of this team where everybody's pitching in? I mean, you had 7, 8 guys in the scoring column tonight.
Oh, it's amazing. I got a great team, and they helped me out, and they won it for us.
All right, congratulations. He's part of the Falls City Sacred Heart team. They're your Class C2 champions. And now we will toss to a break, and John will be back in a few minutes.
Hello, I'm Rod Bates, General Manager of NET. If you rely on an outdoor antenna or rabbit ears to receive your favorite television channels, you'll soon have to make some choices. You'll have 3 options. First, you can buy a new digital television set. Second, you can subscribe to a pay TV service like cable or satellite. And the third option is you can buy a converter box that will let you keep using your current television set. Now, the federal government started offering DTV converter coupons worth $40 each to help you afford the boxes you'll need. You can apply by calling 888-388-2009, or you can log onto the internet and go to dtv2009.gov. If you have any questions at all, you can call us here at NET for help. Our number is 1-800-634-6788. We just want to make sure you continue to receive our programs.
Carrier. Coming in April to NET1.
Welcome back to the Wild Devaney Sports Center, where John Bishop joins me. And John, 6 games, 6 state champions, and a heck of a day of basketball.
Oh, great day of basketball. We had a couple of games, went right down to the wire, dramatic finishes in both classes A and B. We saw a record-setting performance today from Wes Eichmeyer. What a way for him to go out. 43 points today, setting a Class D1 tournament scoring record, as he accounts for all but about 10 of Bergen's points today in their D1 victory. St. Cecilia gets a win today. We see Falls City Sacred Heart continue their winning tradition. Another tremendous tournament, and as I mentioned before we came back here to the backstage area, 104,000 people showed up this weekend. So even though the weather was a little cooler than we had hoped for, still great crowds out here.
It's just an amazing turnout for an amazing event this weekend. 104,000 people, when you think about that, stuffing the Devaney and all the other arenas around town. It was really a success again this year.
Yeah, it was, and makes you look forward to the 99th edition, which will be coming up next year, and chances for some of these teams maybe to repeat. And next year, Omaha Central, they're going to lose a lot of talent, but Omaha Central would be going for 4 in a row, which has only been done one other time. Hard to do, as we've seen in Class A, but if there's a team that can do it, Omaha Central has proven they're the ones.
Pat Riley patented the 3-peat. Maybe Omaha Central can patent the 4-peat. We'll have to wait until next year to see that. And what stands out to you on final closing thoughts here?
Well, I think a lot of the athleticism we saw today, we saw a couple of future Division I players in Wes Eichmeyer and Josh Jones, and we saw some other guys like Creighton for Bellevue East, who may be developing. Jarrell Creighton may be developing into another future Division I star. Maybe we will see him and Bellevue East next year. Kind of an underdog run through the state tournament that came up just 1 point short.
All right, thanks, John. It was a pleasure, as always, calling the game with you. You did a great job.
Thank you very much for filling in for Kevin, too.
I know. We thank Kevin Suits as well, who is missing in action tonight. We hope he's feeling better. Thanks to production and engineering crews, a co-production between 1011 and NET, Dr. Jim Tenneper, Jim Angeli, Tom Millsap, and the Nebraska School Activities Association, Butch Hogg, and the staff at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, Nebraska Educational Television, Husker Vision, everybody playing a part today. We thank everyone. Stay tuned for 1011 News. Now we'll leave you with the sights and sounds of the tournament. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Coverage of the 2008 State High School Basketball Championships has been brought to you in part by Nebraska Community Colleges, State Farm Insurance, Nebraska's independent colleges, the Nebraska Catholic Conference, Concordia University, One Oak Energy Marketing, the Nebraska Abstinence Education Program, and by Nebraska Furniture Mart.